Hi, I'm Eric Schumacher Rasmussen, editor of Streaming Media Magazine and StreamingMedia.com, and I'm talking to Tom Munro, who's the CEO of Verimatrix. Tom wrote an interesting piece in our executive predictions section for our January issue, and we're here today to talk a little bit more about that. Thanks for joining me, Tom.
Glad to be here, Eric. Thanks for the time.
Tom, in your piece, you talk about the importance of service providers needing to achieve what you call competitive optimization. Could you explain that a little more?
Well, we think there are really two dimensions if you're a service provider to increase things. You can either add new services or you can go in the other dimension, competitive optimization. In other words, making your service more compelling to consumers, making it more interesting relative to the other ways they might spend their time or their money. So start with churn reduction, a big topic for our operator customers. How do we help them provide a compelling service that subscribers are engaged with and don't fall away from, become bored with, or disconnect from?
Okay, and you also mentioned the importance of secure analytics. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how important not only the analytics piece is, but the fact that it has to be secure?
Well, everybody's excited about the potential for analyzing data out of, particularly as many pay TV systems are now two-way and a lot of information is available. But it's critically important that data be kept private and that it be secured and that it be respected. And I think everybody along the chain has a vested interest in that, from the consumer who's going to opt in and consider that their information will be stored privately and not shared inappropriately, to the operator who has a fiduciary responsibility and ethical responsibility to maintain that through the process. And as it gets used on downstream in aggregate and in abstract and in privacy anonymized ways by advertisers or content programmers or other third parties, we need to make sure it's not personally identifiable or can be tracked back to individual consumers. And I think everybody in that process has a vested interest in knowing that security and privacy, which are in our world handmaidens that belong together, that those are tightly coupled and that they respect all of the parties involved.
Right. Now, how can a company like Verimatrix help with that?
Well, if you think about the pay TV platform that we provide today, primarily about digital rights management or conditional access, what we've effectively created is a VPN between the cable head end and the set-top box, or between the CDN origin server and the tablet, or whatever combination of sources and terminal devices you have. But that VPN is authenticated. It bears entitlements. It's got a bunch of information about what you're authorized to do. And what we're really doing is saying from that core, very, very well constructed and well protected solution, we're able now to turn around and move data up in the other direction. So video down, but data about net performance and consumption patterns, what people liked and didn't like, quality of the experience. All these things can be moved back up again privately and securely through the same network.
And what can we expect new from Verimatrix in 2016?
Well, we're working on a lot of things, and certainly you'll hear over and over again the analytics theme. We announced last year our Perspective Intelligence Center, and we're incorporating the functionality of a number of analytics partners, people that we've announced already, like Think Analytics and Genius Digital and others, so that we can collect and aggregate that information. We can act as the driller, if you like, and then bring it up in a secure logistics of collecting and storing that data, and make it available to third parties who are experts at rendering that into great visual and great business information that people can use to make decisions. So you'll see a lot of that. And beyond that, you're going to continue to see the steady progression of operators making transitions to IP, adding multi-screen services, obviously right in our wheelhouse, and we see that as a great growth opportunity for the entire year.
Right. Well, certainly 2016, just as the last few years have been, is going to be an interesting year for our industry, and we'll be watching Verimatrix to see how you fit in.